Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. I'm your host Jamie, and I definitely said that wrong, but it's okay. The theme of the episode today is bad roommates. So I'm reading all stories from the Bad Roommates subreddit. I love this subreddit because some of the things that happen on here are just like absolutely insane, and I'm like, what's going on? But let's start with the first story, okay? The title of the first story is She Purposely Let the Shower Run for Hours. The steam set off the fire alarm at midnight. I think wasting water is bad. Am I crazy? This housemate, a 30-plus-year-old woman from a wealthy family in Korea. She has no job. Her parents pay for everything: her car, her clothes, her graduate degree, and of course, the master bedroom with private bathroom in our apartment. Things were rocky at first. Without notice, she'd hide her boyfriend in her room for up to 4 days a week. We asked her to let us know ahead of time and maybe introduce him to us properly. Instead, I caught her sneaking him in and out at 3 a.m. After that confrontation, she didn't bring him over again. Things were okay. Then recently, she announced that she would move out because her room was too cold. We had 1 month to find someone. We all agreed to give each other 90 days notice. 60 days we could handle, but a month? This isn't enough time to find someone from our school, but she insists she can't stay any longer. We don't turn on the central heating because I'm in the loft and all the heat rises. My room becomes an inferno. In the summer, we turn on the AC, and I admit it gets cold downstairs. Our control panel was stuck at 69 degrees Fahrenheit. I agreed to not use the AC until it was replaced. Still, the weather got cold and we didn't turn on the heating. Mind you, this is LA. We weren't freezing. It was a rainy 55 degrees Fahrenheit outside and a tolerable to me 67 degrees Fahrenheit inside. But in the few days it took for maintenance to repair it, she had set off the fire alarm at midnight by purposely leaving the hot shower running for hours. She was trying to fill her room with steam. At the time, we didn't know this until she said, "I have to move out. I've tried everything. I turned on the warm shower the whole day with the bathroom door open because I'm so cold." What? Why didn't she use any of her 3 heaters and the heated blanket my other roommate got her? All 3 heaters I tried. It made me warm, but it's cheap, China made, and smells burnt, and my skin gets dry. So she can afford Gucci shoes, Coach workout clothes, Chanel dresses, and multiple at fault car crashes, but she can't afford a proper heater or a humidifier? My other roommates finally spoke up and said this affects all of us. The water bill would be insane. Her response? I shower a lot at my boyfriend's place. It cancels out. Plus, we don't pay for heating. I responded, as a person who doesn't come from a privileged background, wasting water is just not acceptable. Here comes the most stunning part of the conversation. Please don't say I'm privileged. Having a financial support system is not privilege. It's really hard, you know. It's really hard asking, I need 1K, I need 6K. That's why I can't afford to pay for more months if I'm not living there. And my mom said I should move out since I'm cold. I have no words, guys. What could I have said? I told her all of us worked to pay our own rent. 2 of us had worked 3 to 4 part-time jobs every semester, and one of my roommates was even homeless to pay for tuition. I said, you're the only one here who can afford to move out in 1 month because you're cold and can't be bothered with the dry air from your heaters. That's privilege. She finally agreed to give us 2 months to find a new housemate. And the cherry on top, she asked us to keep an eye out for her Burberry bag that would arrive after she moved out, and then came out of her room giggling and twirling, saying, "Look, I have new clothes." It was some luxury brand I can't be bothered to remember. So yeah, beware the international rich students. Some are completely disconnected from reality. That is wild. No, that's so wild to me. Like, what do you mean you can't put on your heaters? Buy a humidifier. Like, buy a humidifier. What the hell is wrong with you? I don't really understand. Why would you leaving the shower on all night is wild behavior. Absolutely insane wild behavior. And also, why? I feel like that's probably going to give you mold as well. Like, not only is that just insane and you're wasting so much water, and it's like, hello, the environment. And second of all, it's like, why? I'm scared of the mold that is going to be inside of your walls from all of the steam for being left on for hours. Like, I don't really understand that. I don't know how that, like, I'm no scientist, okay? Trust me, science is my worst subject, but I always wondered how, like, hot yoga studios have hot yoga studios, because I know that steam is creeping up in them walls, and I'm like, how do you not have mold everywhere and need to like knock down your yoga studio and rebuild every like 6 months? Because how does that work? How does that happen? Because it's so steamy and so sweaty in those classes. Like, I don't understand that. But that's wild. I'm so cold. I have to move out. Okay, move out and get your own apartment for the love of God, because you obviously can't live with roommates if that's how you're acting. That's crazy. The most annoying thing ever is living with roommates because, no, I said that wrong. The most annoying thing ever is living with roommates when the air and the heat only reaches certain rooms, okay? Because figuring out a temperature that's comfortable for everyone is so damn annoying. And every time I've lived with someone, it's always been like such a hassle. Where like, oh, you're in the downstairs room. Oh, I'm in the upstairs room, the one that gets the most air, and it gets so damn cold. But then you're so damn hot that you're sweating all night. And then it's like, we would agree on like a temperature that would be fine for both of us, because like I would be freezing in my room, shaking and shivering, and then they'd be sweating, which I also feel bad for you, of course. Like the world doesn't revolve around me, of course, but if you're going to turn the air down, so like 67, sorry, but 67 is crazy. Like this girl, I mean, okay, maybe that's like fine for you, but 67 is freezing, okay? I get cold really easily, and like my old roommate would turn the air down so low, even though we agreed on a good temperature to do it. And then randomly, I'd be like, why is it so cold? Then I would check the thermostat and it'd be like so far below. And also like, I I don't know. It's like, that's the most annoying thing, because it's obviously when you're down there, if I was down there, I would be having a shit. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm fucking sweating. And I don't want to sweat in my sleep and wake up every 5 minutes because I'm so damn hot. That's like the most annoying thing ever. It's so hard to figure out a balance, and that's happened in every single apartment I've lived in. Like, it's always one room gets a lot of air, the other room gets no air, and it's sweating, sweltering hot. It's like a sauna. Okay. Some of the comments. She's claiming she's not privileged because it's so hard for her to have to ask mommy and daddy for 6K whenever she needs it. I have no words. Yes. OP said yes. She really said this with a straight face. We have a doggy cam, and I had to go to the faint audio and hear it again because I could not believe it. Fever dream of a sentence right there. That's actually so crazy to me. Like, if anyone ever said that to me, I would scream at them. I would. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be nice about it. Like, what? This person said, I dated a woman who did a similar thing. She had ultra wealthy grandparents who set her up for life with a trust fund, but she would bitch about money issues. And when I asked her to elaborate, she would whine about having to ask the bank to give her some of her own trust fund. My parents are fairly well off, but this level of spoiled floored me. Ugh. I just wish I had a trust fund. That'd be so amazing. Like, imagine just not having to worry about anything in life, because it's like, oh, I just have money, I can pay for it. It's fine. This person said, yeah, I think I actually would have slapped her. It wouldn't have been a conscious decision. It would have just happened. Once I saw this documentary and the girl was like shopping, the only thing she did all day long was hard work and actually a workout. Yes, poor you, walking around buying luxury clothes and eating at restaurants. Some people are nuts. I had a roommate. When she moved in, I suggested I help them with the luggage. She had 10 huge suitcases. When I say huge, I mean they looked like crates on four wheels. I have never seen these. They were twice the size of regular big suitcases. You are a student in a foreign country. What do you need 10 suitcases for? Also, how much did you pay for them to get here? At that point, I would just want, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't get how people bring so many like luggages and stuff. It's like, at that point, I feel like I would just buy all my stuff there. I don't know. Actually, thrift. I would thrift everything, because, like, God forbid, I could never afford actually buying stuff, like new stuff. all my new stuff. But or I'd probably just wear the same thing every single day. I would really be making do of outfits and like, switching things up with different items as much as possible. Okay. The next story is titled The Houseguest Forgot She's Not a Roommate. So, about a year ago, my partner received a message from an old friend asking if she could crash on our couch for a little while to get out of a bad situation. A family member was really abusive and she needed to escape. We said yes. We didn't want to make her sleep on the couch, so we emptied our spare room we used as an office for her to use as a temporary bedroom, as well as a few supplies. In all honesty, we thought she'd stay a couple months at most. She works from home but makes decent money. She's been paying a third of rent, which is very low, just about $250 a month, but she doesn't contribute to any other bills. Apparently, this whole time she's had zero plans to leave, and she's accumulated zero savings. She orders takeout almost every day, never does any of her dishes, and she's really loud at night. She once told me and my partner that seeing us be loving to each other made her feel bad and lonely. Then, as soon as she got a boyfriend, she asked if we could leave the apartment so they could have sex. We said no. My partner and I were thinking of moving to Canada to escape the current political situation of America, only to find it's absolutely impossible. Before we told her the move wasn't happening, she asked if she could have the apartment when we go. A few weeks ago, the relative she needed to escape from died, and it's almost like it never happened. Still, no plans to leave. I feel like we've let this go on for way too long. Our generosity has dried up. Plus, me and my partner want to get married soon, and having our own place again would be really nice. We asked her to move out by the end of the month. She said okay, but she's been avoiding us ever since. I just hope she leaves soon without incident. Edit, I really just meant for this to be event post to get this off my chest. The issue is being worked on. Advice is nice, but the amount of insults I've received sucks. Yes, she's legally a roommate. I recognize that. Yes, we're both naive idiots for letting her stay here, especially for this long. And yes, we're gonna contact our landlord if we need to. To be honest, our landlord is more of a slumlord. He's so hands off, he may as well not exist. But as long as we pay our rent, we have a roof to stay under, I'm pretty sure her moving out will pose no issue. Thank you to everyone who left kind words. Second edit, okay, listen. It wasn't even my idea to go to Canada. I didn't want to. It was my mom's, and she loves to boss me around. I looked into it because she managed to convince my partner. I was the one who found out it was impossible for us. I know about immigration laws. I did a lot of research in order to get my mom off my back. Please stop leaving replies about the Canada move. Literally, the only reason why I mentioned it was to provide context of what my roommate said. Yeah, roommate, because that's what she is. Half the comments I've received are from people correcting me on my title, but that's not the point. The point is that she was only ever supposed to be a guest and not a roommate. But shit happens. I was too busy dealing with chronic pain and working to support myself and my mother who had a stroke and can't work. So making sure our guest left within a reasonable amount of time kind of went down on the priority list until it started to affect my partner. Final edit, she's officially moving out. I'm ignoring all comments here on out. That's so annoying. I would be so pissed if I let a guest, like, out of the kindness of your heart, you're letting someone to stay with you, and then they take advantage of you and they just stay there and they have no plans to leave. I mean, I personally, and I'm not like saying that it's their fault for not doing this, but I personally would have been like, after a couple months, I would have been like, hey, what are your plans? Because, I mean, I know that it's so uncomfortable and I hate confrontation, but when someone asks to stay for a little bit just to like get back on their feet, there's a reasonable amount of time for them to stay. And it's like after a few months, you have every right to ask them what their plans are and like to give them a deadline, even though I know that might not be comfortable and it might like ruin a relationship. But if they're not doing it and they're not being like respectful enough to figure it out on their own to the point where you have to like ask them. Because if it were me, I would feel so guilty staying with someone for so long. Like, I'd be like, oh, don't worry. Like, I'm looking for places and I'll be out by like this time. And I would like be trying to make sure that they knew like I wasn't trying to overstay my welcome or anything. But it's crazy to me that some people have like no self awareness, or maybe they do have self awareness. They just literally don't care about anyone but themselves to the point where they just like are like, whatever. I'm just going to stay here because that's like, I deserve it. Because I would feel so bad. I don't get how people don't feel bad about that. Okay, this person said she's been there for a year. In most states, if you're in the US, she is effectively considered a tenant there. Does she receive mail there? If you want her out, you are likely going to have to evict her. Edited to add based on your first edit. Your landlord has nothing to do with this. Your landlord is not the one to evict her. You are. She is your tenant. How does that make sense? How can you have a tenant in a place that you rent? Is that even legal? I don't get the legality of that at all. I don't, because that's kind of crazy to me. Like, just because, I don't know. I feel like the law should be that if you're on the lease, you live there. If you're not on the lease, it doesn't matter how long you're staying. You don't live there because you're not on the lease. Like, that's how I feel like it should be, but obviously that's not how it should be. This person said, not forgetting the fact that she's also paying 1/3 of the rent. And then OP said, yeah, she offered. And we said, sure, maybe we shouldn't have accepted. Wouldn't have mattered 30 days rent or not, establishes residence. If she fights moving out, you'd have to evict her either way. You're going to have to evict her or make her living there so miserable she decides to go. This was a big mistake. I almost lost it when my husband let his sister stay with us for a month. It's a dangerous mistake too, so I'd like to say do not let anyone stay more than a couple weeks, ever, unless you put in writing and they agreed that it is temporary and agree to when the welcome ends. What's crazy to me is that if I have to do that with someone, I don't want them staying in my place to begin with. Like, because that wouldn't be a thought in my mind. Like, my mom's staying with us for 2 weeks. Imagine if she was like, oh, I'm going to stay with you guys for a month. And then after a month of being here, she's like, oh, I live here now. Like, this is my residence because I've been here for 30 days. Obviously, I wouldn't expect her to do that. That's so crazy and like evil. So I wouldn't have agreed to that in the beginning if I would have thought that someone would do that to me after 30 days of living. I would have never let them stay with me in the first place. So, like, there's no way I would even think of that because it's not like I'd be like, oh, you're staying here for a month. Let me write up this contract to make sure that you don't stay any longer. Because, like, if I have to do that, I don't want you. I don't even want to be friends with you. That's crazy wild. When she offered to pay rent and you accepted her as a roommate, in my opinion, especially if you didn't talk about how long they will pay rent for. I can see why she had no plans to move out, at least from this information. Too bad, so sad. This is a situation at hand. If you want her out, you need to do it the appropriate and legal way. No, that's wild to me. That should not be how it goes. I don't think. Like, that's just taking advantage of someone's kindness. It's like, oh, so I can't let you stay here for a couple months because you're going to take advantage of me and then make me have to evict you and like legally kick you out of my house?
Sorry to interrupt, but if you want extra content weekly, go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/storytimesociety. If you want to listen on Spotify because you're trying to fall asleep or you're driving, head to the link in the description. And if you're there and you don't mind, please rate me 5 stars on there. It really helps with the algorithm. And then the last thing is we have a subreddit linked below. We have a lot of things linked below, but the subreddit, you can share any stories that you want to share. Okay, thanks. Love you guys.
Okay, this story is kind of different because the way that it's like written and it has screenshots of messages, but I saw this and I was like, I want to tell the story so bad because it's like just so, it's not like so wild, but it was just crazy to me. Okay, the title is My Ex-Roommate is Mad That I Have the Same Breed of Cat as Her. This happened to me a little while ago, but this community is the best place to post these screenshots for a laugh. For context, me and this girl do not live together anymore, and things did not end well with me moving out before our lease was up. I got an apartment with my boyfriend, and he surprised me with a calico kitten. My childhood cat was a calico. This girl that I lived with also has a calico, clearly a popular breed. After 2 months of not speaking, she then proceeds to text me asking if I'm well while throwing shade at my kitten. LOL. Okay, so I'm going to read you guys the text messages that they were sending back and forth. So this roommate texts her and says, hey, I've been thinking about you a lot lately, and I hope you're doing great, all settled into this next chapter of life with the new apartment and job and everything. I'm not gonna lie, I've been racking my brain about what our next interaction would be or what I would like to say to you, but it's hard to figure that out with all the built up tension between us over time. I find it sad that we moved to a new city together and lived together for 2 years, but now I feel so awkward even reaching out to you. I find it also very weird that you bought a cat that looks so similar to mine after moving out, so I wouldn't want to be disingenuous about that either. I don't know where I'm going with this, but although I find it sad we've grown apart, I hope you're doing great and thriving. And then this girl, OP, responded saying, "Hello, I have been very well. The job is great. I hope you've been well too. I also wondered what our first interaction would be. I definitely didn't expect you to message me about my cat. I'm not sure what you mean other than that they are calicos. My boyfriend got me this cat as a surprise gift. I had no say in what she looked like or the breed. I also find it sad that we have grown apart, but to be honest, it's exactly those type of comments that reinforce to me why I have distanced myself." That's like those, you see those TikToks that are like the girl that thinks you copy them, like the girl that thinks you copy everything that they do. And it's like, "Oh, you're wearing mascara today? That's funny. I wear mascara. You painted your nails today? Oh, that's really interesting. I paint my nails once a week. And I've never seen you paint your nails before, so that's really interesting." And it's like not even the same color. Like it's crazy. And honestly, like when I was growing up, trying to, I feel like, I don't know if this is a universal experience, okay, but definitely when I was growing up in like middle school and high school, I wanted to be like individualistic so bad. Like I wanted to be unique so bad that I would try so hard to do things that like no one else did because I just, which call me a pick me, whatever. This is what I did. I'm sorry. Sue me. But like I don't know what it was. I just wanted to be unique so badly. I wanted to be individualistic so badly that like I if I started doing something that was so, but mind you, the things I did or the things I wore or like whatever to be individualistic was just so outlandish and crazy. Like I don't even know. I can't even tell you like I went on like a hiatus of not wearing a bra. So I didn't wear a bra for like months and like taped band-aids to my boobs for like months. And I was like, it's not like I went around telling everyone I wasn't wearing a bra, but like my friends knew that I wasn't wearing. This is so stupid and embarrassing, genuinely. Like, girl, calm down. I don't know why, okay? Why was this what I picked? I don't know why, okay? But this is just an example. Like, I thought that I was so unique because I didn't wear a bra for 2 months and I was like not gonna wear a bra. I was gonna be like super hippie and like free and I don't wear a bra. I don't know, guys. It's so embarrassing. Okay. It's not who I am anymore. So arrest me. But that's just like, so when someone would like copy me, I would actually get annoyed growing up. But I just feel like it might be, I don't know. I feel like that's a more regular thing growing up because growing up, you're like trying to find yourself so much and you, I don't know. Can anyone else relate to that? I feel like some people definitely can. But this is crazy. It's like, "Oh, you got a calico cat?" That's wild. That's like saying, "Oh, you moved into an apartment?" "Wow, I live in an apartment." That's really crazy. So it's really weird that you moved into an apartment right after I moved into an apartment. Like, I can't believe a one bedroom too. Like, I lived in a one bedroom and now you're living in a one bedroom. That's just crazy to me. Like, what do you mean? Also, a calico cat? That is so common of a cat. That's what? What? That's just as weird as saying, "Oh, you got a tabby cat. You got a tabby cat after I got a tabby cat. You got an orange cat after I got an orange cat." It's like you were copying me. Even if I got like a fucking Mancoon cat, like a certified registered purebred Mancoon cat, and it was like smoky colored, and like my best friend then got a smoky colored Mancoon cat purebred, I still wouldn't be like, "You copied me." That's crazy. It's wild. Okay, let's read some comments. Someone said, "This is so weird, lol. I wonder if she complains about you to other people." And they were like, "She's even copying your cat." Honestly, this is a real problem with the world. We don't want to invalidate our friends, but this type of delusion needs to be checked. So true. I've started calling my friends out in the nicest way possible when I think is a bad call, and them to me as well. So much better that way than just blindly agreeing. That's really nice. My friend and I preface some things we vent by saying with that is not what? By saying that it's not irrational. I'm gonna fucking punch myself in the Shut. I can't read this for some reason. My friend and I preface some things we vent by saying with that it is irrational and unreasonable. That's what it says, okay? Sorry, can't read it. I don't know why. What's wrong with me? It's weirdly worded, no? I think we do that so we don't scare the other. If it's not prefaced with that, then I start asking leading questions to get there, lol. There we go. Some accountability on a two-way street. This is how my relationships are. We keep each other in check, and that alone enables growth. Gave my first award to you for your comment, lol. Oh my god, wait, I didn't know you could award people on here. What? That's so funny. Also, you just know that she wrote all that extra shit so it wouldn't seem weirder to write about the real reason she reached out, which was definitely the cat part. The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch to be complaining because, God forbid, OP has the same breed of cat. Gasp. The crazy thing is, it's not a breed. It's not a breed. Every cat, your cat is a domestic short hair cat or a domestic medium or a domestic long haired cat, okay? For the most part, unless you get your cat from a breeder, it is a domestic short hair cat. Every cat you see in the cat shelter, it's a domestic short hair, domestic long, domestic medium hair cat. All right? Most likely, there's not going to be any like actual true purebred cats in a shelter or like found on the side of the street. Like, that's probably never going to happen. I mean, I'm sure somewhere in the world it has, but so you both have domestic short hair cats with a calico like a calico color point. Color. It's not a color point. It's a color pattern? I don't know. Cuz I say color point because Willa is a lynx point, and you may get that confused with a lynx point Siamese, which when I first got her, I did. I was like, she's a lynx point Siamese. But then as I learned more, I was like, no, she's a domestic short hair cat with a lynx point coloring, but that doesn't mean that she's a Siamese because the odds of finding like a real Siamese cat in a shelter is just so low. So yeah, that's crazy. Like, so you guys have the same colored cat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, sorry. I'm actually just like so shook and it's so weird. Some people really do this though. Clearly not in this case, but I had a friend who was allergic to cats but wanted to be me so badly. She sought out a cat that looked identical to mine on Facebook Marketplace and now suffers with allergies daily. She also would take similar trips to what I would tell her I would be taking. I finally just stopped telling her anything. It was too weird for me. What if she actually just wanted a cat? Like, my boyfriend has allergies as well to cats, and he suffers daily with them, with his allergies. He takes like specific medication for it that he got prescribed to him. And I don't know, is that really the case? Copying someone's cat is crazy. Like, I just don't think that's a thing. She also would take similar trips to what I would tell her I would be taking. Maybe I don't really get that. It's like different if you got like a tattoo of like a star next to your eye and then your friend goes and gets a tattoo of a star next to their eye. Okay, that's different. But it's like someone's taking the same trips as you. I don't really see how that is like so crazy. Copying you. They really, wait, someone said, that is so wild. I definitely can believe that someone would go as far to do that. People are wild. They really are. Then I realized why I was her only friend and she was trying to single white female me. Like, my boyfriend was taking me to the mountains for my birthday, so she took herself to the mountains a month before for her birthday with no income, mind you. Then got mad at me because she was broke. Lol, like, that was self-inflicted. Were you ever tempted to mess with her by telling her about a vacation or vacation activities that would be completely bizarre just to see if she would do it? No, because it was too weird for me. I mean, I get it if you're like with someone all the time and they're truly like trying to do every single little thing that you do. I definitely get how that can be annoying. And like, I felt that when I was growing up for sure. But it's like, I don't know, random things like that, especially now that I'm older. It's like, okay, you want to copy the vacation I'm going on? I don't really get how that is copying. Like, I went on a cruise with my boyfriend last year for his birthday, and then my friend was like asking me about the cruise and was like planning to go on a cruise with her boyfriend shortly after that. And I did not see that as like she was copying my vacation. Like I just was like, oh, she saw that I told her about the vacation and it sounded fun to her, so she wants to go. It's like she's not copying me. I don't know. I guess it's different if it's like everything that you do, but still, I still feel like I would be like, oh, that's really fun. Like, yeah, I love that you're taking my recommendations. I don't know. Maybe I'm just evolved. Maybe I've just evolved as a human being and like I'm better than everyone. Just kidding. I'm joking. Sometimes I feel like I actually have to say like I'm joking because some people will get so offended on here, actually so mad at me. Sometimes I'm like, okay, can things really be misinterpreted that badly? Because I feel like if I didn't understand, like if I genuinely thought that someone said that, I feel like I would listen back and then be like, oh wait, I actually misinterpreted that. I'm misconstruing what they were meaning because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I take true offense to the way that you are coming at me right now. Like, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for making you so angry, but like, I didn't even mean what you thought that I meant to say, you know? Okay, that's the end of the story time though. Let me know what you thought about those stories. We're gonna move on to the advice segment. So if you ever want unprofessional advice from me, the link is in the description below. It's a Google form and just give me as much detail as possible and I'll try to help you if I can. Okay. This says, hi Jamie, I'd like a little advice on something that's been weighing on me today and yesterday. Last night, my boyfriend and I, both 20, male, got back to our shared dorm and I went to take a shower. I turned the water on and used the bathroom and then went back into our dorm to grab my shampoo from our room, which I'd forgotten. Our room has a door that leads to the bathroom, so I didn't think twice about going out. I caught my boyfriend on our bed, very obviously masturbating to something on his phone. He immediately seemed ashamed and caught off guard, but jumped to say that he was just jerking off to pictures of me. I did not believe that whatsoever. It seemed obvious to me that he was looking at corn and got caught. We had established how corn made me uncomfortable a few years ago when our relationship was fresh, and he even told me that he agreed. We've since had several conversations like that, which again, we both agreed on. What really got me, though, was the instant lying. He even opened his hidden gallery to show me explicit pictures of myself as if he had been using them and told me I could go through his phone. I just couldn't even talk or say anything and had to stay in the shower for over an hour feeling completely sick. The deceit, on top of seeking sexual gain from what I assumed was corn, completely broke me. We had been having sexual troubles for about a year now. He either rarely initiated, didn't seem to want it when I did, or had trouble staying hard if we were doing anything beyond using my hand or mouth. I thought this was due to stress and we agreed to work on it. This morning I told him to be truthful, and after some coercing, he told me that he had been reading smut behind my back and wouldn't do it again. I'm not entirely sure if I believe that's all he's been looking at, and I'm still uncomfortable with the idea, less so just getting off to smut, though that depends on what he gets from it and what he reads, but more so the lying, doing it behind my back and without saying it, basically leaving me convinced that I was the reason he couldn't stay hard during intimacy. I guess I'm just wanting an outsider's opinion, how to go forward from here. If I should feel as bad as I do about the lying, how to deal especially with the intimacy problems. Also, how to rebuild my own confidence because this is just the tipping point for my self-esteem. Okay, I totally get where you're coming from with that. I would also be very upset. And the thing that sucks is that like with my relationship, I the thing about my relationship is that it's like so honest and that I don't even know how to really explain it, but like say if this was like an experience that I was going through because I also had a conversation with my boyfriend like honestly 2 years ago probably about how that makes me uncomfortable as well, just because of the way that it is like unhealthy. I believe that it's an unhealthy thing to do and to engage in, and it makes me uncomfortable. So I prefer that that's like my partner don't engage in that. And it also was affecting the same things that you're saying as well. And it's normal, like it's completely normal for that to affect the performance of someone that watches corn because that's how it messes with you. The biggest difference changed when he stopped watching it. The biggest thing though, obviously with that kind of situation is like honesty and having someone that respects you enough to tell you the truth even though they know they made a mistake that would upset you, having the conversation and being like, yeah, I did that. And like, I know that is like something that you wouldn't like, and I still did that, and I know that it was wrong of me because I was doing it knowing that, I wasn't supposed to be doing it. And I'm sorry. And like I hope that I can help to rebuild that part of your trust in me. Being able to lie so easily to your partner is definitely a huge red flag, because it's like, if you're lying about that, then what else are you lying about? If it's something that it's going on in your relationship a lot, and it's something that you notice a lot, that he lies about things, and like maybe you find things out, then I would consider not continuing a relationship with this person. I don't know how you feel about having like a sit down talk with him and being a little bit more serious and being like, hey, I just want you to be honest with me. And if you're honest with me, that makes it easier for me to not get mad. And then we can talk through the situations to rebuild your own confidence, because this is the tipping point for your self esteem. I would say, oh gosh, this is a hard one, honestly. Trying to talk to yourself like you're the younger version of yourself. Like, just know that you be kind to yourself. Try to build yourself up and say kind words to yourself. And also give yourself grace, because it's not, the intimacy problems aren't your fault. And especially if he's like engaging in that type of behavior, then it's something that he really needs to work on. And the biggest thing is like being able to communicate with your partner about the intimacy problems and what it's bringing up for you and how it's making you feel, because I think the more open you are, the more that like he can be empathetic and he can understand where you're coming from, and then it will like open up that emotional side of conversation, so that deeply like soak in what he's doing and how that's affecting you, because clearly it is affecting you. And try to also just remind yourself that those things don't define your self-worth. Like, you are worthy of love and you're worthy of everything good, even when you're struggling. Like, you're worthy and you deserve to feel like you belong and like you're wanted and like you are hot, and you deserve that. But to be honest, I think the biggest thing is that it has to be something that you guys both work on, because I think it's like, it's not, you are kind of putting it all on you, and I feel like you're feeling pressured to deal with the intimacy problems, but then also like your self-confidence, and then also wondering if he's lying to you and all of that, and like being concerned about what he's consuming. And it's totally okay to like feel that way and to want and to expect something out of your partner, especially when you guys have conversations about what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. And if he's not respecting that, then he's not respecting you. And I just don't think that like he deserves you. And so I feel like if you guys can't both come together and work on these things as a couple and be open and honest and vulnerable with each other, then that's just not a great foundation to have a relationship on. And I think that it's, a relationship is heavily dependent on being able to be vulnerable and open with your partner, so that you guys can both work on things and keep and hold each other accountable for things. And obviously, if he's not being honest with you, then that's like the first thing, because obviously you won't feel comfortable being vulnerable or open with someone that's not being those things back with you. I don't know if any of that makes sense. I say that every time I give advice. I'm like, does that actually any of that make sense? Because I don't know. The way that I say it in my head makes sense, but then once it comes out, I'm like, is that a bunch of gibberish? Yeah, I would say the takeaway from that is just like being able to openly communicate with your partner about this. I think that's really the starting point, and you guys just need to have like a good talk together and be truly open, honest, and vulnerable with each other. And hopefully that will help you guys sort things out, because obviously every like couple is different, but when you truly like can come to an understanding about how your other part like how your partner is feeling about a certain thing, it can help you empathize a lot more with the situation, and then it can help you like decide how to act from then on. And you'll keep that in the back of your mind more often, being like, how is this going to affect my partner? I hope that helps even just a little bit. I really hope that you guys figure everything out. And if you guys don't, I hope that at least you figure something out on your end. And if the relationship isn't serving you anymore, I hope that you do what's best for you. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I am so thankful for all of you, and I hope to hear from you in this episode. So comment what you thought about any of the stories, or if you have any advice for the advice segment of this episode. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.